Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar and to our channel. Today, we continue getting ready for the Unified State exam, and we'll be looking at some useful cliches for task 38 of the exam, also known as the essay project. Without further ado, let's dive into it. First off, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Valeria-Soфия Сергеевна Кавтарадзе, and I've been working as an ESL instructor at the Moscow Pedagogical State University for almost 3 academic years now. My professional interests include teaching general English and IELTS preparation. As an IELTS tutor, I'm quite experienced at teaching how to describe visually presented information, and that's exactly what we'll be practicing today. Let me walk you through the structure of our today's webinar. The first part is a theoretical part where we will focus on the cliches applicable to each particular part of the essay project. And at this stage, I advise that you take snapshots because you're going to need this information later in the day. And then we'll move on to the practical part where I'll show you the model answer I have written in which you will try to fill in the empty blanks with the missing words. The missing words will mostly be the content from from the snapshots you will make. Okay, now let's take a look at the task I have selected for you. As you already know, in this task, you will be given a choice between task 38.1 and 38.2. And I have picked task 38.1. As you can see, this is a table. In this table, please study it by yourselves. And as you can see, it provides a breakdown of reasons why teenagers from a place named Zetland want to pursue a career in IT. And overall, there are 5 different reasons and the percentage of respondents who have selected each particular reason. And under the table, we can see a plan including 5 bullet points which you need to address. And each of these bullet points has to be covered in a separate paragraph. Okay, so let's take a look at the first paragraph. Paragraph 1 is the introductory paragraph. And in this one, you will have to do 3 simple steps. First, you write about the relevance of the topic, and then you go on to say that you are working on a project and have found some data which might be useful for your project. It is crucial to say that you have found this data, not that you have carried out this opinion poll by yourself. Okay, and actually, this paragraph that you're going to write is very similar to the rubric of the task. Yeah, by the rubric, I mean this thing, basically, because it also says that you're doing a project and that you found some data and what you're going to do about this, but make sure you paraphrase the information from the rubric as much as possible and don't borrow large chunks of text from this rubric, because you can be penalized for that. Now, let's take a look at how to write the introductory paragraph in terms of using cliches. We can write something along the lines of this. In recent years, IT jobs have become increasingly popular among young people. Or, over the past few years or decades, there has been a significant increase in the number of young people seeking to get a job in the IT sphere. Alternatively, we can write, it is common knowledge that a lot of young people are striving for an IT career nowadays. Or we can go with, there is no denying that IT professions are a popular choice for modern young people. Then we need to move on to steps 2 and 3, and we can write something along the lines of this. I'm doing a project on why a lot of Zetland teenagers are choosing to pursue a career in IT, and I have found some statistics. You can add in table form or in a table. You can replace it with any other type of diagram if you're working on a different type of visual. We can say as well, as part of my project on why a lot of Zetland teenagers are choosing to pursue a career in IT, I have found a table illustrating or containing the results of the opinion polls. If you want to, although it's not necessary, but maybe you need to boost the word count, you can write one more sentence, such as, I will analyze the data or the figures and give my opinion. Okay, so that's what you can use in paragraph 1. Moving on to paragraph 2, in this one, we need to report on 2 or 3 facts from the table or other visual that we have in front of us. You are asked not to compare anything in this task. However, it is perfectly normal to use not comparative but superlative forms. In other words, it is perfectly normal to talk about the extremes, such as the majority's choice or the choice or the least popular choice. If you want to include 3 facts and not just 2, you can write about the 2 most popular options or the 2 least popular options. So here are some cliches you can include. Overall, the table contains a breakdown of reasons why the respondents have chosen a career in IT. Or it is evident from the table that. Or as can be seen from the table. Or according to the statistics, data, figures from the table. And then you go on to introduce these 2 or 3 facts. You can say the majority of the respondents, or the most popular or favored option or reason is as follows, or else the least popular or favored option or reason is as follows. Here are some examples I have written about the table about an IT career. It is evident from the table that the main reason for embarking on an IT career is a good salary, chosen by 33% of the respondents. In other words, we can write the majority of the respondents, 33%, chose a good salary as the reason for pursuing an IT career. We can as well go with the most popular reason is a good salary with 33% of respondents. Yes, and the least favored reasons are creative work and constant development with 14 and 8% of the interviewees respectively. Okay, so with is a really useful preposition to introduce percentages. And respectively is a very useful word as well. So when you have to introduce 2 different percentages, this word might be handy. Okay, now let's turn to the 3rd paragraph. In the 3rd one, you will have to make some comparisons. And here's how you can start this paragraph. It seems reasonable to draw a few comparisons. Or it is worth contrasting some of the values from the table. But you don't necessarily have to write an introductory sentence in this paragraph. For instance, if you already have more than enough words, you can just combine this sentence with the sentences to come. So you can start your idea by the following words. Comparing the data from the table, it is noticeable that. Or one can see from the table that. Or as can be seen from the table, and so on and so forth. Then you go on to introduce your comparisons. And for this purpose, you can use expressions such as the percentage of something is twice as big or twice as little as the proportion of something else. The percentage of something is almost 3 times as big or small as the proportion of something else. We can as well say that one option is twice as popular as the other option. Or we can say that a particular reason is 3 times more popular than some other reason. Actually, there are a multitude of different expressions you can use to introduce comparisons, and these are only the most obvious ones. This list right here is not exhaustive. Finally, in this very paragraph, you will have to provide your own commentary for this information. So don't forget to interpret the data towards the end of this paragraph. We can write something along the lines of, this can be explained by the fact that. This can be attributed to the fact that. This might be because. This might be due to the fact that. And I find it surprising, if you do find it surprising, of course, because the following reasons, right? Now, in the next paragraph, which is paragraph 4, let me just erase my markings. In paragraph 4, you will have to outline a problem related to the topic stated in the rubric and come up with a possible solution. So to introduce the problem, you can write simply, a typical problem one can face is as follows. Or analyzing the data, I can outline the problem, and then you go on to describe the problem. For the solution, you can write, however, there is a solution to this problem. Or I believe the best solution is. Or if you want like a more sophisticated way to say it, you can say, I believe the best way forward is as follows. The best way forward is the same as the solution, basically. Next, you can also say a solution can certainly be found in something, or a possible solution lies in something. So as for the cliches for the paragraphs, this is basically everything, but I would like to touch on one more crucial topic, which is avoiding repetition in your writing. So when writing your essay project, it is of paramount importance to avoid repetition. And one of the easiest ways to do this is to Oh, wait a second. I'm sorry. I have skipped the conclusion part. I've skipped the conclusion part. So yeah, let me go back to this one. I completely forgot about this. So in the conclusion, you will have to like dwell on the importance of the problem stated in the rubric. In our case, it's the importance of IT in the modern world. And we can use formulas such as, in conclusion, I strongly believe that, or in conclusion, I'm convinced that. We can say, to summarize, I'm absolutely confident that. Next, we can say, I would like to conclude by saying that. And to summarize the above, I believe that. Yeah, so now we are surely done with the paragraphs. So as I tried to say prior to this, you need to be able to avoid repetition, and one of the best ways to do this is to use synonyms as much as you can. Well, obviously where possible, but still as much as you can. So let's take a look at some useful synonyms you can use for describing this table or similar tables. The respondents can be referred to as the interviewed or the interviewees or the surveyed or those polled or the participants of the survey, and some other ways are possible as well. Next, most of our graphs describe teenagers' choice. So to refer to teenagers, you can also call them young people or adolescents or youth. Then, if you get tired of using the word data, you can replace it with words such as the statistics or the figures. These are pretty much the same thing. Next, to avoid overusing the phrase the most popular choice or reason, we can refer to it as the most favored choice or reason, or the most prevalent option or choice or reason. Then, if you want to replace the word prefer, we can also say choose, right? That people not prefer something, but they choose it. Or alternatively, we can use a more sophisticated word such as cite. How to use it? We can say that the majority of teenagers cite a good salary as the main reason for getting a job in the IT industry. So that's basically what it should sound like. And finally, when talking about percentages, in order not to overuse the word percentage, you can use the word proportion instead every once in a while. Well, as in the proportion of teenagers who are thinking of a high salary is twice as high as the percentage of adolescents who want to work from home. Oh, that's basically how you do it. All right. So this brings us to the end of the theoretical part. So now let's take a look at the gap fill exercise I have prepared. So we will go paragraph by paragraph. First, I show you the paragraph with the empty spaces. You use the chat box on Zoom to try and complete the empty spaces. And then I immediately reveal the key to this paragraph in the next slide. Okay, so let's get to it. So I invite everyone to post your ideas in the chat. Okay, so something. There has been an increase in the number of young people seeking to get a job in the IT sphere. I'm currently something on why a lot of teenagers in Zetland are choosing to pursue a career in IT, and I have found something which I believe are useful. Okay, so what can go into these empty spaces? Remember that it's the first paragraph, so you will be using the cliches related to the introduction. Okay, so we have our first answer. Yes. Okay, definitely. Nowadays is a great choice for the first space, right? Nowadays, there has been an increase in the number of young people seeking to get a job in the IT sphere. Well, yeah, definitely. So then I am, right? It is like the present continuous kind of situation. I'm currently convinced. No, I'm convinced means I'm sure, but here you're doing something. I'm okay. If you're talking about the last space, I have found some data. Well, data could be used here theoretically, but we can see the verb are after it, so it must be a verb in the plural form, not in the singular form. So let's think of a synonym for the word data, some word in the plural form. Some countable word. Okay, so you guys seem to be having a bit of a hard time, so let me reveal the key now. Over the past few years, which of course can be safely replaced with your variant nowadays, there has been an increase in the number of young people seeking to get a job in the IT sphere. I'm currently doing a project on why a lot of teenagers in Zetland are choosing to pursue a career in IT, and I have found some statistics in table form, which I believe are useful. Okay, so statistics. This was the word we have been looking for because it is countable, unlike the word data. All right, anyways, let's turn to the second part of my exercise. This one actually is where things get a bit trickier. So something from the data that the main reason for embarking on an IT career is a good salary. Something by 33% of something. Something creative work and constant development are blah 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 14 and 8% blah blah blah. What can be done about this? Mhm. All right. All right. All right. Your suggestions have all been very interesting, but let's take a look at my options. It is evident from the data that the main reason for embarking on an IT career is a good salary, chosen by 33% of the respondents. Conversely, it is like, on the other hand, creative work and constant development are the least popular reasons, with 14% and 8% respectively. All right, let's move on to paragraph 3. This one is really huge. Take your time to study it. Yes, okay. We can say it is evident from the data. But then, on the other hand, we would have to include that here. And we have no such thing. We have no such thing here. So it's a different cliche, actually. Right, so if we resort to using the Russian language, we need something which means согласно данным. Right, absolutely. According to the data, okay, then you need to say like what the data tells you. Like what conclusions can be made, right, or drawn from this data. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we can say it is noticeable, yes, or it can be observed that a good salary. Okay, and now we start kind of talking about the preferences of the participants. So, any ideas about the spaces that follow? All right, so this one got you guys a little bit confused. Um, yeah, I could see that coming. Well, anyways, let's take a look at the key. So here's what it looks like. Comparing the data, or according to the data, right? Your choice was also valid. It is noticeable that a good salary cited or chosen by 33% of those polled, it's like the participants of the interview, is almost as popular as working from home and creative work taken together. 20% and 14% respectively. Moreover, the figures indicate that many vacancies, 25%, are more than 3 times as common as constant development, with 8%. This can be attributed to the fact that people tend to prefer stability to comfort and job satisfaction. All right, let's take a look at the fourth paragraph. This one is pretty unproblematic. I guess you can do it on your own. So, something, the data, I can do something. Yes, and something, blah, 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 in maintaining a healthy work-life balance. Come on, guys, I believe in you here. Right, that's spot on. According to the data, I can consume. I can consume? No, I don't think. Give it another try. Right, so remember that the fourth paragraph is about outlining and solving a problem. So in this paragraph, you can believe, not quite, not right now. At this stage, you can just outline the problem. Outline the problem, or maybe even name a problem, right? If you forget the word outline. Either way, you need to mention a problem somewhere there. Okay, so we have done the second space, basically. What about the final one, the third one? So, blah, 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 in maintaining a healthy work-life balance and allowing the brain to recharge. Right? Remember that the purpose of the paragraph is to introduce a problem and come up with a solution. So based on that, what can be written in this space? Okay, so everyone seems to have given up. So let me reveal the key to you. Analyzing the data, I can outline a problem. A lot of people work in IT mainly for the salary, forgetting that these jobs are extremely labor intensive. As a result, they may experience professional burnout. A solution lies in maintaining a healthy work life balance and allowing the brain to recharge. Finally, let us not forget about the conclusion, which is paragraph 5. Only 3 spaces here. I guess it's not it's not very problematic either. Mhm. Now, how can we begin this paragraph? In conclusion, well done, nicely done. In conclusion, I am blah blah blah. That IT jobs, I'm convinced that. That's spot on. Way to go. That IT jobs are indispensable in the modern world. And then here's a little addition from me personally. Like, one should evaluate the potential challenges. Nevertheless, nicely done. Way to go. Nevertheless, or however, as I wrote it. Okay, because like after looking at this table, I thought it would be a good idea to make this little concession here that it's not all that perfect, this whole IT industry. In conclusion, I'm convinced that IT jobs are indispensable in the modern world. However, one should evaluate the potential challenges when considering an IT career. So overall, my essay is precisely 250 words long. So I'm within the word limit here, and I made the word count, nevertheless. Okay, okay, pretty good. So I can see that you guys are the best prepared to write the conclusion and the introduction. Uh, well, as for the parts in the middle, they are definitely more challenging than that. So keep up the good work, keep practicing. And if you like this video, feel free to rewatch it on our YouTube channel. I would like to conclude by saying that the cliches we have talked about today are really helpful because task 38, the essay project, is for the most part based around cliches, and you can't do successfully without like using these cliches when approaching these kinds of tasks. This brings us to the end of the lesson. Have you got any questions to ask me? Mhm.